What's up, guys? Tim Little. Welcome back to Taxable Bassin. Today we're talking Neko rigs. So we've had a lot of questions lately about what is it, where the name come from, all those sorts of things. But today I'm going to show you guys how to rig them, how to properly fish them, to put more fish in the boat. A Neko rig, it's just a fancy name for a nail-weighted stick worm or a nail-weighted bait. We've been throwing nail-weighted Senkos or trick worms, those types of baits for a long time. That is a Neko rig. What it does, right now it's late fall and the fish are starting to school up and feed on bait fish. So sometimes these fish get these balls of bait way out deep, 30, 40 feet. So what the Neko rig allows you to do is fish a larger profile bait down deeper. So the components of a Neko rig: you take your favorite soft plastic, whatever it may be, a robo worm, a Senko, any type of stick bait like that, and you put a nail weight in the bottom. So I'm going to actually show you guys how to rig them. It's very easy, but the benefit of a Neko rig is you get a different action. With the weight in the head like this, it's down on the bottom. You got your hook exposed up, and when you're shaking, when you're twitching your rod, you got the tail up here just dancing. A lot of motion. It's got a bigger profile than let's say a drop shot or some kind of shad style bait. Just a bigger presentation on bottom. Looks like it's rooting around, and it's fairly weedless. You got that exposed hook, but the way that keeper keeps that hook up off the bottom, it doesn't get hooked up very often. So I like to fish a Neko rig when I feel like I can get bigger bites on a bigger profile bait. So instead of throwing like a drop shot, like a little shad worm, I'm going to pick up the Neko rig and I'm going to fire through that school of bait, and I'm going to fish it on the bottom. What I'm trying to do, I'm trying to get those lazy fish, the fish that are down below the little fish, or the fish that are feeding on the shad ball, that are just picking up the scraps, and I'm just going to kind of drag that in their face. Again, the benefits of a Neko rig is it's just different action. It looks like something's rooting around on the bottom. It's got a lot of tail action, and it's a great way to fish your favorite wacky rigged worm down at depths that most times you can't reach. So first, take a plastic worm, trick worm. One of my favorites is going to be the Yamamoto cut tail. It's got that little cut tail on the end. And you can see I've been fishing this stuff for years. I got some, these are all nail weighted Senkos. I got different types of weights to put in the head. I got lead ones. I got tungsten ones. G87 is, I'll link everything down, just like every video, I'll link everything down below. But G87, I'm not sure, I don't know if this is all they make, but they make a really cool wacky rig system, and it comes with a set of pliers like this, and then you buy the different sized O-rings. You can buy them in larger packs. I buy a ton of them, and you pop it off. You take one of these guys right here. Now, I've been doing this so long, I used to go into McDonald's and get straws to do this. I would take a little nail weight or a little lead piece, and I'd stick it in the front of my Senko, and I'd take that straw and I'd cut a little snippet off, and I'd slide it over the worm, and I'd hook my hook through that. But the benefit of a Neko rig, another benefit, is you don't go through hardly any baits. The way the hook is separate from the bait, and the way the bait slides up the line when you're fighting fish, you don't go through nearly as many baits. So what you do, you take your whatever size O-ring you want. You can use the actual O-rings too. They come in all different sizes. So this little dealie right here, you actually squeeze it and it opens up. So you run your head of your favorite plastic through. And here's a little tip for you. I like to keep mine about an inch and a half from the head of the bait. I don't want to go directly in the middle of the bait. I want that keeper to be, like I said, about an inch, inch and a half from the nail weighted head side. And what that does, again, like this bait over here that's already rigged, what that does, this has your nail weight in it right here. It's about a ½ inch long. It keeps the hook up off the bottom, but it gives you 3/4 or more of your bait without something rigid in it to get action. So I got the band. Now I'm going to take a nail weight. You can do lead, like I said, you can do tungsten. If you want something like this, if you're fishing rock or you're fishing stained water, something where you want an exposed surface down there clicking, I'd go with something like that. But I really like the Swagger Tackle makes these guys right here. These are tungsten, and these they get a little pricey, but I use them a ton, and they work very well. They don't come out. Some of the lead ones don't stay in as nice, and when a fish comes up and shakes, it throws the bait, or it throws the lead out of the bait. But you can see the difference between the lead and the tungsten, the grips on those things. Another benefit of the tungsten, obviously it's a lot heavier than lead, so you don't have to use as much of it or as large of a piece of it. So this little thing right here, this is 3/32. I'm putting it right in the head of the bait. Boom, that's in there. The reason I don't like using the large lead pieces, you know, that's an inch and a half, inch and a quarter. It runs farther up into the bait and you get less action. So right there, I got my nail weight, my tungsten nail weight in there. I got my sleeve on there. Now I'm going to take my favorite drop shot hook, my favorite wacky rig hook. I actually like the Owner Mosquitoes 1/0 or the Mosquito Lights in number 1s. If I'm fishing, here's another one I have rigged up right here. If I'm fishing a little bit smaller profile bait, I'm going to go with the Mosquito Light. Lighter line, lighter hook, smaller bait. You can see that guy right there. So your favorite drop shot hooks. So in this guy right here, I'm actually going to go with a 1/0. I don't have a 1 normal, but go with a 1/0 Mosquito. Now you can rig it up and through all the way of this sleeve right here, or you can hook it through it. I actually like to run it up and just cup that sleeve right in that hook gap right there. So now this bait's going to be dancing around on the bottom, and you're going to get a lot more action down here. Again, when I like throwing these, I'm fishing off rock, I'm fishing off breaks, deeper water than you would throw your traditional wacky rig Senko. You know, this is going to take forever to fall. The benefit of the Neko is you can fish it 20, 30, 40, 50 feet deep and still get that kind of that wacky rigged action. So that is how you rig it. How you fish it, it's almost like a drag, kind of like you're just out there shaking a drop shot. I like to fire, I'll find the fish on my graph and I'll fire back to them, let it fall, and I'll kind of drag and just shake it as that thing's down there dancing, just rooting around and stirring up mud or silt or whatever it is, just down there rooting around, and those fish will pick it up. So you can see I have this whole nail weighted Senko box, and it's not only Senkos. I have some of the new baits from Daiwa and Yamamoto. It's actually their Neko Straight and their Neko Fat worms. Those are great baits. Some of my other favorite baits to throw on a wacky rig or a Neko rig: trick worm, swamp crawlers. Again, you can do this as large or as small as you want. You can do it on little 4-inch worms or 8-inch worms. It's totally up to you. But I will link some of my favorite baits down there in the video description. But as far as time of the year, I like to throw the little skinny worms, the worms that are real floppy, real active in the water during your warmer water months. And as the water temps drop, I will go with the Senko or even the big robo worm, like the Big Ned or the TRD, something like that, where it's a little more stout, a little thicker, and it doesn't flop around as much. Less action, but still gets that big profile. Another system you can buy, again, that was the G80 system, G87 system. I'll link that down below. But you can get these wacky rigger tools. I'll link those too down below. But this is just a little aluminum piece. You slide your O-rings, just your traditional O-rings that you would use for wacky rigging. Slide them onto this piece right here. Again, you take your favorite soft plastic. They come in different sizes, and then you slip that O-ring on over. Take your favorite lead weight, favorite nail weight, put it right in the face of the head. Again, on a Senko, you got kind of a tapered end down here, and you got a fatter end down here. So right there, you can see I would just run my hook right up through there. I like to, on these type of O-rings, I will actually grab a hook that you guys can see. I will actually skin hook the Senko up and then through. I won't just hook the O-ring. I actually skin hook the actual bait, come up and through, just like that. That just keeps that hook from turning over. Sometimes if you just hook the O-ring under the O-ring itself, your hook will want to turn sideways and you'll start getting fouled up, you'll miss fish, and just no good. So take your hook and just skin hook the Senko up underneath the O-ring and then come out right there. That keeps that hook nice and sturdy. Again, I like to fish the hook farther down to the head. You can run it up here, but you're gonna lose a lot more action and the bait will fall over. But that is the Neko Rig. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below in the comments section. Matt and I will try and get to those. If you guys like the video, hit that like button. Remember to subscribe to our channel. We're doing 3 videos a week for you. We appreciate you guys. Have a good one.